Guys, Mercer Scales here with another video again about spirituality and philosophy, occultism, esotericism, and such there. More wonders of the world, of course, there. But now, I really want you to this is really an interesting topic then, guys. If we're gonna think about, like, I don't know, like a minute ago or something. But basically about the ideas of the parasites there. Parasites, dragons, and all sorts of the unconscious. Parasites, the dragon, and the unconscious there. Parasites, the dragon, and the unconscious there. So, in mythology itself there was usually the Chaoskampf itself there. Zeus versus Typhon. Indra versus Vitra. Indra versus Vitra. Michael versus the dragon itself there. Satan, usually, or Lucifer. It's not really Lucifer, it's Satan. And also Thor versus the Jormungandr. Thor, usually this Chaoskampf is all about fighting a dragon with the obvious, or basically a worm itself there. Interestingly enough there, usually, like, in the context of Vritra itself in Jormungandr, and Typhon is usually there. They are like chthonic forces. Not only that they are chthonic forces itself there, not chthonic really there, but basically like aquatic, or not aquatic, basically, or just basically they're based on the water itself there, or the marine. And this is the most interesting thing about that stuff. It literally reflects to the unconscious there. And interesting enough there, that people itself there saying that parasites are demons actually there. And like tapeworms, those fucking things there, and all those dragons and stuff, they were probably based on that thing. And those freaking tapeworms out there, tapeworms or just worms or parasites literally cause like illnesses and such. Even worse, like it also like intrusive thoughts, negative thoughts, and just basically putting you in a loop itself there. The most interesting thing about these things, about this fucking piece of craps, to be honest there, that for the example of Indra itself there and Vritra consumed the seven rivers itself there. And the seven rivers itself there represents obviously stuff. There are seven rivers itself there. You could actually argue that basically it's kind of like all the chakras there. Representative of chakras there, or seven rivers is representative obviously of the unconscious itself there. But itself, literally, Vritra had consumed them there. If these parasites, dragons or parasites were defeated itself there, obviously though, obviously there that the one itself that basically has transcended, or has been made by transgress, or basically being transgressed upon, will be free as well. All the obstruction and intrusive thoughts will be gone there, and one will think really clear. Or even as well there, the contents of the unconscious or basically finally the right will be set back to its place again. That's basically interesting there. The rightness is set back that's there. So it's finally that the mind can finally think freely itself there, and actually more creatively there. The dragon finally died. That's it. This is really interesting. But who was Michael, Thor, Indra? Michael, Thor, Indra, Zeus? Why typically like heavenly figures itself there? Or basically heavenly figures, or basically not sky fathers, but basically basically the residents of the skies itself there. Residents of the sky itself there, or heavenly itself there, or parliamentary itself there. All those beings itself there, they represent all those beings, even Michael, even Michael as well there. Michael as well there represents not, yes, a thunderbolt, but the force of heaven, the force of heaven, which is thunderbolt. Thunderbolts are really quick in itself there, pretty obvious and swift, but they are representative of changes of quick or haste changes of there, or even thrust. There is a painting itself there that Joseph Campbell think about there, or basically extrapolate about, about the snake itself there and the lightning bolt. The snake and the lightning bolt coming together itself there. This snake and the lightning kind of snake comes from the ground, the lightning bolt comes from the heaven itself there. There will be a collision there, there will be a force there. There will be a force that the snake itself there, the snake itself there, the snake itself there. There would be like a middle point itself there, a middle point there that one can access itself. The snake is one can access the snake, and also about the force of heaven there, fully and integrated individual being itself there. But that's a really cool in itself there. This freaking parasites there is just, oh my gosh. Parasites are really intro. And parasites up there were that there. I remember there in basically like elementary there is basically what we're actually like taking sort of like meds there to just basically get rid of the parasite. And now apparently they're like people don't know like a lot of stuff that just live inside their bodies, to be honest there. So yeah, that's why they feel ridiculously low and out of energy to us know there. And their freaking like and their freaking thoughts and feelings will basically be thoughts and feelings of being hoarded and energy as well. They're being hoarded in this piece of crap there. And really how to deal with these parasites there. You can visualize by basically moving them or freaking killing the demons basically there. Killing the demons or low vibrational entities. Low vibrational entities. Those low vibrational entity demons or cons actually causes like mental illnesses there and diseases as well there. Much better much better to obviously erase them there. And yes, even like some fucking if you hear some voices and such there, so you not that you hear some voices but specifically the bad voices such as demons. It's demons seem to see a demon spotted and hear that stuff they're freaking annihilated. Kill the orcs, slay the orcs, destroy the orcs by freaking kill the orcs, slay the orcs, by destroy the orcs by freaking what's that bad? Range's blood. So yeah, that's pretty much it to be honest there. Ride the tiger. Julius Evola, second topic. Ride the Tiger or Ride the Tiger by Ebola is really interesting as it there. Because Ride the Tiger itself just means this go with the flow, but in a sense it's just really extreme there. Not going with the flow like, oh my god, just blindly following. If I go low, I go low, or basically like just basically conform to freaking people. No, of course not. Of course not. It's just Ride the Tiger itself there. But basically just life itself there, that heart itself sings itself to the earth itself there, and basically the frequencies of the universe itself there, like really hard, really the heart knows it there. The heart knows basically the heart knows really what's up, or basically the being or the kidity itself, kidity just Kidney just means being, or the nest of a thing. It's a nest of a thing itself. Nest of a thing. That's basically it. That's right the tiger. That's basically it. And basically that's riding the tiger is just knowing the freaking feeling itself there. Knowing the feeling. That's basically it there. And also some advice there, like obviously some advice. It's just in spiritual world. Don't be freaking colorful as like they're when actually interacting with beings there. They think that there's an entities there. There are some that will guise themselves as good, but freaking not. They are false good of the false light there. If you heard that, oh my gosh, God like really God itself really like want you to have like illness itself there. The illness there because it's basically contributes to your freaking challenges of there in life there. Or if you freaking hear like, oh my gosh, God, you know like God, that life, like suffering gave life meaning. Nah, that's a freaking demon. That's a freaking demon. But it's false light. That's it. Or basically the one that dropped you to samsara itself in a contest of a loop like, oh my gosh, no, don't do that thing, dude. There's a space, don't do that thing. Just basically follow our orders there. And also follow our orders there. And also there would be a dude there was a dude that basically like thank you that come on, yeah, just eat that freaking just buy that so it's just for your good. Was trapped there. That's basically the freaking like dark forces, dude, my guys. So yeah. Hmm. And this is also kind of advice there. When you know how the mind works, or basically your subconscious works too as well, subconscious works too as well, you know that you cannot. I know I said it before, but probably in the shortest way, in a sense, don't you like don't joke, don't joke. Know the intention, know the unconscious stuff there, and you could probably like change. You can now change it there. So yeah, cool, dude. So yeah, what next there? I almost forgot this about this. I almost forgot this about JD Krishnamurti there in my last video. I almost forgot that in there that the mind really like copes there, but freaking the demons or basically like freaking these entities they're really want to cope there in a context there you it basically you put this stuff there with just cooking itself there or just the mind like fixing stuff there. It's much better to not fix it. It's not better to not fix it, but it's not better to not fix it there. But that doesn't mean it cannot be fixed. But in a sense, like leave it be in a nutshell there. Leave it be in a silent sense there. Basically, it there. Leave it be in a silence there. I remember there's this having in my life there, like having like intrusive sauce there. It's just basically like, oh my gosh, just living in this stuff there, just coping there for the same freaking time there, like over and over and over there. I really just really want to like live my life so without freaking like thinking, not thinking, just coping on that stuff. And that was freaking right. That one there for me there. There was a video of the arc, I guess. Not the arc, but not the arc, but basically like it was the bars there. With basically modern spirituality, modern spirituality neutered, or I'm saying stuff like neutered modern spirituality or neutered. In a nutshell, it just basically just means itself. It just basically means itself there. That just oh my gosh, healing healing itself is just really like important there, just integral part of the freaking basic spiritual path. Yes, that may be true, but that's why the freaking ego survived, to be honest there though. If there was no healer, not no healer, there was no there was no thing itself there that to be healed itself there, or no thing to be healed upon there, that you wouldn't exist. That's pretty much it. And you wouldn't exist there. There was no hope itself there, and it would fucking force itself. The mind would force itself to live there as it is there. And ironically, open for the room of growth and actual fucking growth and actual learning, which is fucking awesome. That's it. So yeah. This is also this is now no this is awesome. This is basically like an addendum, but now there's a freaking third one there. The third one is in a nutshell. The third one there is in a nutshell there. The third one is in a nutshell there. Is whew, the third one is in a nutshell there. This is really interesting there. It's about oh my gosh, suffering made you stronger there. Hmm. Suffering made you stronger there. That basically like people itself they are thinking in that stuff like Nietzsche stuff or something there. But to be honest, it's kind of like freaking like sounds brain rot. To be honest, there. That's why basically like freaking like these demons like come to you there and just transform you in that stuff there. That's transform you the stuff there. And just basically said that oh my gosh, there's something made you stronger there. You must learn lessons there. You must learn lessons there. But this is actually false good. This is false good. And you even like put like freaking like close and open and the close and open quotations there and freaking false good there. It's just bad. It's just bad, dude. It's just really bad. This is context. This is bad. That's basically the demons there. That's basically the demons there, dude. And the issue and the issue about And the issue about frameworks itself there. When people talk about frameworks itself there, they actually use they actually think of this as basically like, yeah, the framework itself there is basically the framework itself there is basically that I would call like an anchor feeling. Or an anchor feeling is just basically just means something when you feel something there, and it's basically it is that there, which is the way the world that it is to you there, and the feel of that. That's basically a framework there. A framework there. But the issue about frameworks there is just basically it's kind of like a trap too as well there. There are some good frameworks for you there. There's some bad frameworks for you there. Bad framework for you there. So yeah, that's pretty much it there. Frameworks are kind of like it sounds good so, but this channel is kind of much it. Sounds good so pretty much it. But frameworks are kind of like a living thing in a nutshell there. A living thing in a nutshell there. If you think of them as kind of like this really big circle itself there. Really big circle itself there. Really big circle itself there. And basically there's like small circles, like small circle of thoughts and feelings itself there. Probably not feelings, thought itself there, in terms of thoughts there, the ego and such there. And that basically the higher way, the higher circle itself there is God. And now you draw like another like big circle itself there. The big circle itself there like is just basically some freaking like random entity there. And if that basic random entity like eclipse, for example, like God there, if the eclipse God there, suddenly itself there you will get trapped there by in this yeah, I always say the voice in sorrow, but it's pretty much it to be honest, or just kind of like stuff there that you will be giving that framework itself some energy there for a lot of time to be honest with. So yeah. So yeah, what is like the really like best way to counter it there? Free. Just be free itself there from the mind itself there, and even like framework thinking there or categorical thinking there or something. So yeah, categorical thinking there. Just kind of leave it there though. If you see just the mind itself, if you see just the mind itself there, and if you see the mind itself as in a context there, there's basically there's left and right brain there, and the thought is this is interesting thing to think, but a thought itself, a thought, a thought as in a context as well. Is a thought like a separate thing itself there, like a thought itself there, and another thought as just basically this big blue and then the blue big white balls itself there, or you see the thought itself as basically this big there, this thought that's really like kind of like the same stuff this as God itself there, it's a bit God there and an entity there. The thought is a really like small, really like medium ball, really medium ball stuff, a medium ball thing itself there, and thought like birth, like thought, but thought with birth, a thought with birth, like thought itself there, or just smaller thoughts there, but but in this difference, like basically like with that difference, that's basically Jeffrey or freaking Fred or something there, or just a thought about like your dog or something there. That's pretty much it there. That itself is a trap there. That's why is that interesting? Because if the ego itself there, which is actually in there, actually in there, the ego itself there were it's I don't know what to say. It's basically kind of like smart, but it can be duped as well there by in itself there. Oh, if you really want to take a thought, like a thought itself there that oh yeah, the thought is basically the thought is actually like the thought is actually Fred. Come on, Fred, I really want to get. Come on, Fred, I really want get out of my mind Fred there. And the thought itself would think that. But not the thought itself would think, but I guess the thought form itself would think that, nah, that's not Fred, dude. That's it. hey dude, like you would think that, oh my god, that's freaking Fred, dude, that's freaking Fred. That's not thought there. That's thought. Actually, it's a freaking Fred there. It's not thought there. It just would confuse you there because the mind there. If the mind would think of Fred itself there, it would think of in a literal sense there. It would think of a literal sense and not actually of the thought itself there. It's just really small tiny thing and just in, not in a freaking like compartment sense. Pretty much it. That's kind of it there. That's pretty much it. I was actually trapped on that freaking thinking like a long time before, dude. So yeah, as as might actually help there, and that's interesting to as well. Is when people like talk to God there. Are they talking it when people like talk to God itself there? Are they talking itself to another entity, or a thought or the thought form or God himself there? I know. I think it's much better to not basically like think about that there. Not to think about that, but with discernment's really needed there and also well there. Like talking to God really there. So yeah. That doubt is the most biggest thing. Doubt, fear is really like the biggest enemy to basically like freaking the life itself there. It's much better of that. Pretty much it. Trust the heart always. Trust the spirit. Trust the soul. The end. Trust God. Trust the heart. Trust the spirit. Trust the soul itself. There. That's pretty much it. There. Trust God in a context of your God. So yeah. Or spirit. So basically it. So yeah. Pretty much it. Kind of it. It's the skills out there. The end, my guys.